Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to another episode of Connect with the Quran with Najma Ansari. And we've been looking at Surah Bani Israel. It's again one of the long surahs, with all surahs are beautiful, but it does have a lot in it. So that's why I still haven't finished it, and we'll continue with it today. But again, before we start, I would love you to listen to a recording of it. And it's from a passage out of Ayah 1 out of 78 onwards. So Bismillah, it's a beautiful passage, so please just listen to it.
أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا ومن الليل فتهجد به نافلة لك عسى أن يبعثك ربك مقاما محمودا وقل رب أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا وننزل من القرآن ما هو شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين ولا يزيد الظالمين إلا خسارا وإذا أنعمنا على الإنسان أعرض ونأى بجانبه وإذا مسه الشر كان يئوسا قل كل يعمل على شاكلته فربكم أعلم بمن هو أهدى سبيلا ويسألونك عن الروح قل الروح من أمر ربي وما أوتيتم من العلم إلا قليلا.
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. So welcome back, and we are looking at Surah Bani Israel, and this passage that I chose, which I love, and it's beautiful if you can maybe memorize it. It starts with, and you know, the beautiful thing of our deen is we have it all there, and it's just what you extract from it. So this passage starts with أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل والقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا. And it goes to say that establish a regular prayer when the sun declines till the darkness, so it makes it Maghrib and Isha, and لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل والقرآن الفجر, and read it at the prayer in the morning, and with the Quran that you read at Fajr, what does it say? Inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda. Mashhud, it's shahid, it's been witnessed. And they do say that it does say it for Asr and Fajr, but basically it is whatever we read at Fajr time. We have the hadith that goes that the change of gods, the change of the angels happens at Fajr as well. So if you're reading your Quran at that time, the ones which are going, they are going to record your reading, and the ones that are coming, they are also recording you. But these are just for our feel good. The fact of the matter is that, you know, the Quran is going to witness for you, whether it's in your grave, whether it's in the Akhirah, and the fact that it's going to give you solace. Because the connecting with the Quran at Fajr ideally, but at any time. It doesn't mean that if you can't connect at Fajr, you don't connect at any other time. No, you keep connecting. And the shaheed, the witnessing is you can witness the people in Palestine just living this. They are living testimony to what faith does, and how, whether it's a child or an adult, how it's steeped in them, and may it be steeped into all of us as deeply that we are able to be the change that we desire in the world around us. And so then the next ayah, which is also beautiful, which goes وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَتَهَجَّدْ بِهِ نَافِلَةً asa an yab'asaka rabbuka maqama mahmuda. And then pray in the small watches of the morning. That means the tahajjud time, and that pray for yourself. Soon will your Allah raise you to a high station. And this Maqama Mahmuda is what we refer to at Maqam Ibrahim, also is known as at the high station. And so these are special days where again you take heed from it, that if we read it, min al-layli fatahajjad bihi nafilataka, read your nafils at tahajjud time, asa an rabbaka, maybe it may be that you will soon see that you are raised to a high station and maybe regain our glory of the dunya. So that's there, and then it continues to say that Rabbi adkhilni mudkhala sidqin wa akhrijni wa qul Rabbi adkhilni mudkhala sidqin wa akhrijni mukhraja mukhraja sidqin waj'al li min ladunka sultanan nasira. And I love these again because it says, let me enter by the gate of honor and truth, and likewise let my gate, my exit be. Look at the tafsirs. It can be like in coming in this dunya, in living in this dunya, that's how I live, and in my exit. And there are more meanings too, but at the moment I'm not going into that detail. These are just beautiful for itself as it is, that let me enter by truth and honor, and let me exit by truth and honor, and grant me from your own presence a sultan nasira, help me with a sultan. And this is the same sultan which says to shaitan, you will have no sultan over my the ones who believe in me and who have tawakkul in me. That was in a previous surah, if I'm not mistaken, in Surah Nahl, that came like this. And then he goes on to say, I love this one again, is because what we were talking about, وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ بَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. That truth has arrived and falsehood will perish, because without a doubt, falsehood by its very nature is designed to perish. And again, elsewhere in Surah Anbiya, this is the one I love, which I haven't got it memorized, but it's a beautiful passage which says, nay, we hurl the truth against falsehood and knocks out its brains, and behold, falsehood does perish, and woe be to you for the false things that you ascribe to us. So primarily it's about shirk, but all falsehood is going to perish. Just have that deep ingrained faith that all this false media, false reporting, the people thinking wrong, people have no idea what it is, the onus is on us, but it's also at the ultimate, Allah guide them to sift out and know what is falsehood. How on earth can a small, open-aired, imprisoned people be a terror to you, a nuclear power? How on earth can it be? But this is the cartoons. You should see the cartoons of what they make, you know. So you're really scared of the stone-throwing kids? Is that how weak and feeble you are, that even somebody picks up a rock and it makes you go bananas? You know, but where is, and so this truth one, if we can, so it's in Surah Anbiya, it talks about that the truth, we hurl the truth against falsehood, and it knocks its brains out. So Allah give us, solace from that, and so on. And then it goes on to say that, I love this passage, قُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ. This is what we just did. And then وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَا يَزِيدُ لِلظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. And we send down by stages the Quran, which is a healing and mercy, and for the one who is in the wrong, he's going to be in the loss. The next two ayahs are also beautiful, again with this which goes on to say, وَإِذَا نَمْنَا عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ أَعْرَضَ وَنَأَىٰ بِجَانِبِهِ وَإِذَا مَسَّهُ الشَّرُّ كَانَ يَئُوسًا. And we bestow favors on man, so he's grateful, and as soon as it's removed, then evil sees it and he gives himself up in despair. These are all beautiful passages. It's 83 I just read for you, and 84 goes, وَقُلْ جَاءَ قُلْ كُلٌّ يَعْمَلْ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ وَرَبُّكُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ هُوَ أَهْدَى سَبِيلًا. And this says that everyone acts according to his disposition, but your Lord knows who's best, and who is on the best way, best guided on the way. And this again goes to, everybody does it as they can. We in these days are able to do what we like about what's WhatsApp. If all I can do is just read Subhanallah, Subhanallah, or Ayat Karima 3 times and post it, well, if that's my feeble level of Iman, so be it. But everybody acts it, but Allah knows who does it with the best intention. And attention is determined by where our attention is, and all these things are there. So this whole passage for whoever can and wishes to do it, and inshallah I'll come back to it, to another ayah after this, which is also beautiful, and then I'll look towards the end. But this is all beautiful passages. It's just gems emitting, and I'm just sharing which of the things that I love to share about it. But inshallah, we're going in for a short ad break, and then we'll come back and I'll continue. So for the moment, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. And we've been looking at Surah Isra. But again, I just want to take a snippet out and read you a poem, which again for me resonates because we were doing a Shahida about how the Quran is witness. So here's one on the Shaheed. And it says, blessed are the Shaheed. Ultimately, they succeed. Blessed are the innocent in the face of the virulent. Oppressors bear the guilt. One day the balance will tilt. The homes will be rebuilt, those confiscated in conflict. No barakah reigns when oppressions reigns. In every calamity refrain, need to stay sane. No panic, no grief, full trust and belief. With Allah is the relief. Dunya is brief. Commentaries and talk shows, also artificial and shallow. They think they are hallowed, in fake justice they wallow. The Shaheed wins, oppressors steeped in sin. When judgment will begin, they will end in the hell's bin. Don't cry over the Shaheed, mothers be proud indeed. You are the ones who feed Iman for them to succeed. And blessed are the Shaheed. So I just think of, of the mothers and how even we used to read in history books that how at the time of Rasulullah, the Sahabi, and how mother was so proud that her many sons had been Shaheed. But the thing is that we are witnessing that today. So the witnessing the Shaheed is ongoing. We have it in the Quran. We have it what it is to be a Shaheed. But just to move on, because we are looking at this surah, and every bit is a gem, and every bit we need to link it back to what is going on in our life and to make some sense out of it. So we'll get to that also. So right now what I want to read to you is this last passage after what we read about Aqim Salat al-Duluki Shams ila Ghasaq al-Layl wa Quran al-Fajr is, and in Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda, and that the Quran that is read is witnessed. So going on from there, where I wanted to finish off on that ayah 85, which I love, and these are all beautiful passages because it says, وَيَسَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنْ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. And it says, they ask you about the ruh. They ask you about the ruh. Will say the ruh is by min amri Rabbi. It's from the amr of Allah. It's from the amr of my Rabb. And وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنْ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. And you have been given very little information. You've been given very little information. So for me, that's just beautiful in itself of what the ruh is, what we're composed of. We're composed of the nafs, and the nafs can be of 3 types. It can be of the nafs al-ammara, nafs al-lawama, nafs al-mutma'inna, and all that. That is where our free will resides of how we act. The ruh is the same ruh in all of us, and it's from min amri Rabbi. It's from the amr of Allah. And that's it. So for us to argue the soul, the spirit, the this, the that, this is what Allah has said about the ruh. And the background to this is, and which when we get to Surah Kaf, we'll do it, that the Yahud were always egging the Quraysh on to, and they said, why don't you go and ask him this? Why don't you go and ask him this? Ask him this. What to ask? Ask him about the ruh. Ask him about the sleepers of the cave, the Ashab al-Kahf, and ask him about Zulqarnain. So the next 2 on Ashab al-Kahf and Zulqarnain will come in the next surah, in Surah Kaf. But the mention of, they say, Yasalunaka ruh, they are the ones asking you about the ruh. Well, just tell them the ruh is from Allah, from the Amr of Allah, and all you are given very little information. That let's take back today also in how much false information goes around. So everything you get, don't want to in excitement. Now, the latest was that there's been a whirlwind or there's a hurricane over Tel Aviv and now they're being destroyed. So we're like, what on earth, just check it out. But we get hooked into tiny pleasures of what's going on. But anyway, so let's just go move on towards the end passage of this surah, which is again lovely. It's going to be the fourth sajda that comes up in this surah, and from 160, 106 onwards is that there's a sajda in surah 106, and it says when that the Quran comes to you in bits, and then and then it goes on to the emphasis is on how it's sent on 5, 6 is on how it comes over time, and then in 9 it says that they fall down on their faces in tears out of humility, and it increases them in humility. Again, for us to know, if we work on our tahajjud, we work on our sajdas, and we glorify Allah and we call Him, whether we call Him Allah or we call Him Ar-Rahman, this is all at the tail end of this surah, how much a immediate solace to the heart we will get, but also how much, inshallah, it will be of some productivity that it will change things around us. So that's on one. And then on the last one, it says, وَقُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي لَمْ يَتَّخِذُ وَلَدًا وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ شَرِيكٌ فِي الْمُلْكِ. And praise to Allah. This is on the last ayah, 11, that praise be to Allah who begets no son and has no partner in His dominion, and nor does He need any protection from anybody. So, وَكَبِّرُ تَكْبِيرًا. So, do glorify Him in His greatness. And where this ends, where it says وَقُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ, that's where Surah Kahf will begin. So those are also the links, and these two surahs do go together. Here there's more talk on the Bani Israel, of all the, again, back to their wrongs, what they do, the arrogance. So just remember, even for ourselves, whenever we need to take it home. Whenever I make a statement, oh, I was so cool, I did that so beautifully, I did this, I did. Whenever you attempted to think, just recently there was a girl, I said, oh, are you happily married? Is he fine? Are you happy? And so, is he happy or something like that? I asked her, and she said, he better be. He's so fortunate to have married me. And I said, where on earth are we going? Where is this arrogance coming from? Whether it's as a joke or not, and this is where we get hooked to the Western way of we get implanted by thinking we just adopt that way of talking, that way of being, of I'm cool, I have to sell myself, I have to do my marketing, I have to show how good I am. And I love that hadith, again, I wish I knew it, which said, Ya Allah, keep me low in my eyes. And let me be big in the eyes of others, but essentially, let me think little of myself. Let me think little of myself. And it's, what is it? It's وَكَبِّرُ تَكْبِيرًا, and it's know Allah's great. So, know which are the big diseases, the arrogance, the thinking somebody less of you. And again, it connects back to the shaitan of what he thinks. I am better. On what basis? What is fire, earth? What has it got to do with it? What on earth makes you imagine that because you are the Yahud, you are the chosen people, you are grand, you've got Israel, you've got the states backing you up, but they're totally blinded. But otherwise you'll be shivering in your boots. Somebody attacks you one day, and even if 10 of you are traumatized or something, it's like the end of the world. You start sending out fake news of they did this and they're atrocious. You have to turn others into an animal, but they are doing exactly what was done to them in the Second World War. And they have no idea of that. So, and our book we have the whole of Surah Baqarah telling us of what they did, and how the mantle of prophethood is taken from them and come onto the Bani Ismail. So this Surah Israel, again, just let's read it. Those two beautiful ayahs in the beginning, 3 and 4, that you will create fitna, you will get arrogant. Twice will it happen. Many draw it to the back of the time of when Nebuchadnezzar was there and when another time was there. And so maybe both of those situations have happened. Maybe both of those you can still lump into one, and the one final is still to happen. And whether it's happened or not happened, but the fact that Allah talks to them that they will get arrogant as soon as they are in a good space, and they say, if you're good, and there are good people, there are good people in the Bani Israel also who will say that Zionism isn't what we what it doesn't represent us. So these are all things of in the dunya of nationalism doesn't represent us, this doesn't represent us, but they have blocked us into being this or that. And so no, at an individual level, they're good people. We mustn't tarnish everybody with this, but it needs to increase our humility. It needs to increase our humility. We need to be in glorifying our Rabb time and again. It said, and so where is it? There's this, the sajda is where it is. It's in Surah. It's in Ayah 109, which is a sajda ayah, and it's the fourth time. It came in Surah Araf towards the end of it. Then it came in Surah Rad, and then it came in Surah Nahl, and this is the fourth time we have a sajda. So every time, notice, is it because of humility? Is it because of the arrogance of the non-believers? So we need to do sajda to show it. The next one, if it comes before that, maybe, but I know that there's also one in Surah Sajda, which is Surah 32. It will come there too. But inshallah, let it be that whatever has been said has been of benefit, first primarily for me to improve my ikhlas, my inner, and for whoever's listening to, may it be that it brings us into some humility, and we learn to just know that Allah's there, and it's Allah who will see us through. And may we also, Allah count us as one of the shaheed for his tawheed and risala, and may we make it to akhirah in the best of places. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ha 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 ha.